Based on what you guys told us, hey, haters gonna hate. Based on what you guys told us yesterday, here was the question. Should the CIA advise the president to send a U-2 plane over Cuba to take new pictures? Based on what most of you guys said, the answer was, while it is risky, it might get shot down and cause an incident or the life of a pilot, we recommend, as CIA analysts, that we should send the flight. So one of the questions you should have is, if that's the real intelligence that the CIA was looking at, what did they decide to do in 1962? Does anybody know?
They decided to send a plane and the plane got shot down.
We did advise the president to authorize a U-2 mission. Now, it didn't get shot down the first day. Later on, it's going to get shot down. Okay? So here's what happened. Based on human intelligence, that's human intelligence, in Cuba, and from IMINT, that's imagery intelligence, pictures, we decided it's worth the risk to send a U-2 spy plane that we learned about yesterday over Cuba to take fresh pictures. Now, here's what we thought, and this has to be crystal clear to you. If you're confused, please ask. Do we recognize the difference between surface-to-air missiles and medium-range ballistic missiles? What is the purpose of a surface-to-air missile? To shoot down aircraft, that's it. What is the purpose of a medium-range ballistic missile? To deliver a warhead, a nuclear warhead, to destroy a city. So here's what we thought. If the Soviets put surface-to-air missiles in Cuba, they could shoot down our U-2s. But what we thought is that the Soviets wouldn't do that. Even if they had the missiles there, we didn't think they'd shoot down our U-2. Why would we think that? They don't want to make us mad. That's a really good theory. What's another one? Why wouldn't the Soviets shoot down our U-2 plane if they had the missiles sitting there to do it? No, they're not nice people. We wouldn't have the Cold War if we got along. Here's what we thought. The Soviets shooting down our U-2 will only confirm that they're helping the Cubans put missiles there. And it will prove our suspicions that they're helping the Cubans. So we thought, even if the Soviets have the surface-to-air missile capability to shoot down our U-2, they won't do it. Now, here's what's interesting. Their leader, Khrushchev, told the missile batteries in Cuba, do not shoot down the U-2s because you're going to provoke America and prove that we're helping the Cubans. And through a weird stroke of luck or fate or mishap, one of the Soviet commanders on the ground disobeyed his president's orders and did shoot down a U-2 about a week later. The pilot got killed. Now, the Soviets were mad at their own guys for shooting down that plane because it just proved they were helping the Cubans and confirmed our suspicions. But what we did after the first day's recommendation is said we need some new IMINT, imagery intelligence, fresh pictures. So that brings us to today. Okay? And I'll explain the different teams and I'll break you up in a second. As you've determined from analyzing the intelligence in part 1, it was necessary to send another U-2 overflight to Cuba. Directly following the U-2 flight, we also sent in a U.S. naval reconnaissance aircraft to capture low-level photographs. So that aircraft you're looking at on your screen doesn't look like a U-2, does it? That's an RF-8 Crusader. So that's a normal-sized jet that has cameras and it flies lower so you can get better pictures from it. Both flights were successful without incident initially. The new IMINT, imagery intelligence, needs to be analyzed by you guys. That's what people at the CIA do. So I am going to divide you guys into teams, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. So I'm just going to give you a number and it's going to move you around. All you need to do is take your laptop with you. What you're going to do is look at a set of photographs we just got in from the RF-8 flight and the U-2 flight. Before we can know if there's missiles, we have to analyze the intelligence. Okay? So based on your team, you're going to be looking at something else. So here's how this is going to go down. In T-minus 20 minutes, your team is going to have your conclusions drawn and say, here's what we think we see. Some of you are going to have to do some math. Some of you are going to have to do some predicting. And tell me, as the Director of Central Intelligence, do we think that the Cubans have medium-range ballistic missiles based on the new photographs we just got? So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you a number 1 through 6, and then we're going to move. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Mr. Bentley. 1, 2, 3, Des, 4, 5. Okay, Team 6, you're going to be a pair, and everyone else should be a trio. So, who's Team 1? Stand up so we know who you are. Pick a spot anywhere in the room. You guys are going to look at the set that we're calling Team Alpha. So you three find a spot anywhere you want with your laptop. Who's Team 2? Stand up. Team 2, on Kim, pick a spot anywhere you want to go with your laptop. Who's Team 3? Stand up if you're 3. Are you 3, Sarah? Team 3 is on Sarah. Find a spot anywhere you would like to go. You guys are going to be Bravo. Are you good at math? I need you to be good at math today. Who's Team 4? Okay, Team 4 is on Taylor. You're good at math, aren't you? Okay, who's Team 5? Stand up if you're Team 5. Team 5 is on Mr. Hamilton. Who's Team 6? You and who? Who else has a 6 besides Donovan? That's easy. Mr. Hall, could you hit the left light switch, please? I can't see anything when it's dark. Now listen, you each have different sets of photographs. And what's really awesome about this is why history is a lot of fun. You are looking at the actual U-2 and RF-8 pictures that we took in October of 1962. Okay, we didn't make these up. So let's say I'm on Team Alpha. I put these on the assignment in case you needed them or somebody who's gone. They're going to watch this video and be jealous of my aviators, but also that they weren't here today. So say I'm on Team Alpha. If you're Team 1 and 2, you're Alpha. Raise your hand. I'm going to be looking at the same thing as you. You have a memorandum that says, here's what's going down. You have some U-2 pictures fresh off the presses October 14th because you decided to order the new overflight. And here's what you see. Okay? Pictures of tent areas, missile trailers, nuclear equipment, all in your pictures. And you have a chart that you're going to count some things up and see what you can identify in there. Now, if you're Team Bravo, let me switch back. You guys are, it's not hard math, it's not calculus. It's more like measuring and estimating. Okay? You have a memorandum saying, here's what you're looking at. They're different pictures. So Team 3 and 4, raise your hand. You guys are Bravo. You're going to have to look at some pictures and estimate what size objects could fit in those shipping containers or those semi-trucks. Because we don't have X-ray vision on a U-2. We can just take aerial pictures. But if you know the length of a tractor trailer and you know the length of one of these missiles, you can say, ooh, could that fit in there? Could that possibly be a medium-range ballistic missile that could hit DC in 5 minutes? That would be bad. Okay, so this is exactly what analysts did in the CIA in October of 1962. You are looking at the exact same pictures they did. Now, if you're team number 5 or 6, raise your hand. Okay, you guys are looking at some pictures as well. And your focus is on the rockets themselves. If there are medium-range ballistic missiles, if there are, what kind are they? Because we have to know their range, their payload, how long to fuel them, all these details. So if teams Alpha and Bravo can identify that there are missiles, you guys need to figure out what kind are they. So what I'm going to do is put 20 minutes on the clock. I will come around and help. Okay? You as a team need to analyze those, and in your Google Doc that's on Canvas, there's something to answer that you will tell us out loud. So you need to write that out. Like Alpha, you have a chart. Bravo, you have 2 sets of questions. Charlie, you have things about the different rockets. You need to know those details from your intelligence by the time the timer hits 20, and then we're going to go around the room and see what you can tell me you've figured out. Okay, so I will come help you guys, but everybody unpaperclip those and divide them up and say, all right, let's look at what we have and read our instructions.